Hello and welcome to the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. I'm your host, the Whiteologist, Mr. Blows Your Minds, and this is Black Minds News. This channel, Black Minds News, is to report, articulate, transmit, communicate, relate, unveil, decode, spread the news, whether it's by news, video, websites, or quotes from publications. As I articulate these information, I ask that the creator of the universe be here, heart, soul, mind, and spirit. Because why? The truth don't need no partner. As a descendant of the greatest people who created this land that you call the United States, we, the foundational blacks of America, the bloodline historical lineage to the ties to the land and the people, the genealogy, we, the BADOS, Black American descendant of slaves. Some say Black African descendant of slaves. Others say ADOS, which is American descendant of slaves. We, the children descendant of, give honor to our ancestors. And you know what my motto of this show is? I'm never going to tell you what I heard. I'm only going to tell you what I know. Today's date is July 28, 2019. And we're going to go over to New York. They say they had the finest police force in our country. It is an honor and a privilege for anyone to be in the uniform, to wear it. Well, we had a sister who recently got on the force, but prior to her getting in, she used to spit some lyrics. She said some things about the way she felt. And you know how it goes. When you're brand new out here, you do things on the internet, and then you got to go work. Somebody go and sift through, and then they say, hey, look what this person said. Well, came back. And if you didn't know this story, stay tuned for this broadcast. Hey, how's y'all doing? Again, this is your host, Mr. Blows Your Minds, coming with another Black News Minds Report. Today's date is going to be July 28, 2019. And first and foremost, I want to say what's good to the fam and the house subscribers and my new subscribers. What's good, family? Welcome. Appreciate that you subscribe. Those who are, let's say, old-time family members, appreciate that you all were here as well. Thank you to each and every one of you personally from Black Minds News. Passerbys, if you should just happen to pass by, stumble across the most hidden, tucked away, hidden, covered over show in the black corner of the internet, welcome to Black Minds News. Go through the library, see some things that you see over there. Again, we always got a grand opening. So you could go over there, go through there, sift through it, and you might see something that might offend you. So just remember that the motto of the show is, the truth don't need no partner. So let's get into this show here. Okay? So, seeing this story here, right? And I see that nobody really covered it, maybe because maybe I jumped out on it first. Again, I didn't do too much yesterday due to the simple fact that I got some technical difficulties going on. But we're going to try to get it out as much as possible. You know, should have had more out. But again, bear with me as I get into it. So again, we're going to talk about this New York Police Department cop who they say rapped about war on white cops. Now, according to this individual now is going to sue a discrimination suit against the workplace hostility. Now, let me say that again. A New York Police Department cop who rapped about war on white cops now suing over workplace hostility. Now, again, this story was done on the 27th, and it's talking about a black NYPD cop who rapped about war on white cops had filed a claim that fellow officers were so angry about her lyrics that, according to what the article talks about they left her in a situation where they didn't give her no protection, right? They left her out there to dry, to hang out. Sister name is Atisha Samuel. Atisha Samuel, who just recently became a cop back in about 2017. And last year says that the investigators learned of the racially charged rap video that she posted to on Instagram declaring a war against white men on the beat. Now, you stay tuned. I will play what the video that has been out there, right? And you'll see that in this video, you'll see that Atisha Samuel, she's wearing a black ski mask. Now, this was in 2016. Now, this is prior to her becoming an officer, right? She becomes an officer in 2017. She did the video in 2016, right? And once it became aware to the cops that this was her, right? So what they said is that the co-workers became irate, but she said a lot of them just misinterpreted her tunes, right? They said, hey, wait a minute, you mistaken it for, what you interpreted. That ain't what the way I interpreted. But again, you here, listen to this video, we'll hear the words, what she said, and you make the call. And again, according to the atmosphere at the job, try to make it miserable for her, right? Now, according to this is coming from the Manhattan federal court papers that she filed, right? Now, according to the complaint, Miss Samuels, which is Atisha, right? She said her car was keyed at a union, right? They keyed her car, right? She went to the union rep, and the union rep told her, hey, you need to ask for forgiveness from your fellow cops at roll call. You need to ask for forgiveness by your fellow cops about some stuff you did prior to you coming and how you felt, right? Feel like this is not good rapport with other cops, especially when you singling out white cops. This ain't gonna work, okay? So they felt like pressuring her that this is something you better do, and otherwise if you don't, you might as well just resign, right? And so also you see that the NYPD Career Advancement Review Board had hauled her into an internal affair meeting, right? And then when they brought her in the meeting, you know what they said to her? They said, hey, you got problems with cops, right? Do we got a problem here, right? Do we got a problem here? So she can recollect that a particular supervisor, she talked about different supervisors, right? When she had been on calls that needed backup, and her and her partner was out on a call, and again, one particular one that she recalls is about a violent, emotional, disturbed person, right, that they needed some help with. Now, she's a female, right? And I'm not sure whether her partner's a female or not, but again, they needed backup, and again, they left them high and dry. Didn't send nobody out there, right? Because of their feeling about something she said, right? And she would, make copies about, procedures of papers that she was doing during her arrest and so forth, and they would end up being in the trash, right? They wouldn't allow her to get a union card because I guess by not having a union card, then you don't have no real representation or nothing that actually legitimizes that. So they were taking that from her. And matter of fact, the union rep had told her she should be ashamed. And the person said that they saw the video and say, you talking about hating white cops. You are a disgrace and you should resign. I'm going to say that again. This was the rep union. This was the rep person saying, you should be ashamed of yourself. This individual saw the video, heard you talking about hating white cops. You're a disgrace and you should resign. Now, this is the person that, again, if you're paying your dues, this is the person who's supposed to be there representing you, right? But again, the unification, we'll say knee bone's connected to the thigh bone's connected, right? So it's one body. So it's not really, it might be separation in the way that they show it, but they also all in one, right? And so they told her that, right? And so what you see is that she decided that based on all this discrimination and this work environment that was hostile, she decided that she would go ahead and file a lawsuit for discrimination, right? Remember the old saying over here, right? If we don't get you by 6, take the 12 and get the check, right? So, you know, based on what we've seen, and again, we did that show over here about the cops getting doused and disrespected. So they're trying to kind of attribute that based on you and the things that you said, this is a contributing factor that why, you know, policemen are out here getting, you know, disrespected. And it looked like those seem to be white cops. And again, we don't understand the whole ins and outs of that situation and scenario. But again, that's what we did see. But again, you know, sometimes grasping for straws, again, you saying something that, again, isolated, not just cops in general, but it was more towards white folks. And, you know, they going to take offense to it because, again, really, when you look at the history of cops in general, from my historical point of what we've been dealing with, again, officer from overseer, right? Remember what K.R. said, check the similarities, right? So understanding where the overseer originated from and what his duties and his duties were all about, it is all it done did is evolve to where we are today. But the problem is what you do is you have some of our people and other ethnicities who put on the uniform, right? To try to balance it out, try to have representations of sometimes if they're close to you, but sometimes you can get some of them and they could be just as worse as others, right? So in this case here, they attributing that maybe due to the simple fact that your video out there, you're contributing to this atmosphere, how people feeling, not for the simple fact that we can lay down many cards about different scenarios and situations where we see that people who are innocent in the misconduct and malfeasance that have been attributed to our people, that is not into play. It's all about what you're doing, right? It's not about what they're doing. It's about what you're doing. And so she was saying, Miss Samuels was saying that these colleagues have it all wrong. You taking it wrong. Well, you know how it is. What they say, fragility of mind. So if a people are very fragile of mind and anything make reference due to the simple fact of the history that makes a guilt on the people, as much as they like to say that they had nothing to do with it, then why do you feel so guilty about when we make references about our ordeal as Black American descendants of slaves and American descendants of slaves, when we go over the history and we talk about the wrongs and how the mistreatment and the so forth, why do you feel guilty about that? If you yourself have none, you say your family don't have no connection to, and that you are new people who came here through Ellis Island and so forth, then why do you feel guilty? So maybe it has nothing to do all with just the historical part, but what about now? What are your feelings now about Black people? What are your feelings towards about some of the things that you see in history that, again, we see time and time again on Black Minds News? We report these kind of things on the daily because, again, they are prevalent. These are things we as Black American descendant slaves and American descendant slaves must know, even though some people may say that it's frivolous, right? This is frivolous, right? So, you know, again, going on. So, it's just going to talk about the entire stanza the lawyer said, right? Now, according to, I'm going to play for you, and let me go ahead and let me play that for you right quick, right? Let me play the version she has. No, that's not it. Hold on, that's not it.
The U.S. Department.
That's not it. Hold on. Is this it? No, that's not it either. This it here. Okay. So let me go ahead and play this. Let me do this here. Let me do this and then show it here. And then I'm going to let you go ahead and hear it for your own ears. And you tell me what you hear versus what they say. All right. So let me go ahead and play this and let's get it.
Pull out on a nigga if he dare run. They say we gotta make America great again. We were never great, we were slaves and caged in. They see us like a gorilla in the jungle, but why Harambe drag a boy but got love too? It's society, got us up in a frenzy. We don't know how to end it, tryna survive on ends meet. So we gotta get it. A black ski mask and a black fitted. Got my crew and a couple hitters. My mama need bread, so I'ma go and get it. That's what I used to love to think of. They won't eat unless they selling drugs or some scammer shit. A couple accounts with a couple flips.
All right, so you see there again. I'm gonna give you the visual there. That is Tisha Samuels, right? And should I play that one more time just in case? Maybe I just go ahead and give you a repeat of that, right? Let's go ahead and one more.
Pull out on a nigga if he dare run. They say we gotta make America great again. We were never great, we were slaves and caged in. They see us like a gorilla in the jungle, but why Harambe drag a boy but got love too? It's society, got us up in a frenzy. We don't know how to end it, tryna survive on ends meet. So we gotta get it. A black ski mask and a black fitted. Got my crew and a couple hitters. My mama need bread, so I'ma go and get it. That's what I used to love to think of. They won't eat unless they selling drugs or some scammer shit. A couple accounts with a couple flips.
All right, so what we see there is the stanza they're talking about. Now, again, that's the only reference they gave as to it. It didn't. I don't know if this in the entirety, but it talked about the Lord said is they said the verse and it supposedly has said, "Shit is getting real. My little black brothers are out here getting killed. It's not a war against niggas in the streets. It's a war against the white man on the beat." Okay. Now, is that, I'm going to say it once again. She said, shit is getting real. My little black brothers are out here getting killed. If it's not a war against niggas in the street, it's a war against the white man on the beat. Now, your interpretation may hear that and hear that, yeah, young black men in general are getting killed out here on the streets, right? And yes, some people will hear, well, black people are killing black people. All right, but that's not what she's talking about here, right? There's a contributing factors to that, right? So what she's talking about that, again, as we lay down cards about situations where police are exonerated and it is obvious that they should not have been exonerated, and again, stacking up the cases versus the one that you say were guilty, I think the preponderance is on the other side. And so it would only be incumbent as a people who see this on the daily that, again, I think Princess Virtuous Light, she's talked about those who have eyes and ears and who have the gift that was of this day to start talking about, you have people who rap, people who do what we do on the Black Corner of the internet and so forth. There's many facets of different ways of us transmitting what's going on out here. And when we see what we see versus what you want to, make your mind believe that that's a fact is entirely different from the person, from the position that we're in. So at this time, she's not a cop. She's trying to be an artist. And she's making reference to things that, again, that is affecting her. And she says that the war, niggas in the street, it's a war against the white man on the beat, meaning those who patrol the community, right? There seems to be a war because they're trying to prevent these unnecessary killings that are happening. Now, again, I'm going to say it, I'm going to always keep saying, black folks don't go out here protesting and marching over something that is obviously the person is wrong. You won't see that. Show us one. Anyone that you come over here, person on opposite position of thought of mine, how we're looking at this, show me where black people have march protests for somebody who was obviously wrong. Now you come with that OJ shit if you want, right? I don't think black folks was actually on that. I think that was just something about the justice system and somebody getting off out of all the losses black folks have taken. You understand? It's kind of like watching NCAA, right? NCAA, and the Cinderella team knock off a number one team. Everybody run on the damn court, right? Elated because we beat the Giants. And that's all that was about the OJ case. I don't think too many people really heart, mind, and soul was about the real welfare of OJ. You know, especially when you done showed a history that you really ain't fucking with them, right? So that became something spiritual more than it was about the individual. So if you try to use that, I just explained to you that, and so you can't use that one. So anyways, they took it in the sense to say that she making war on white cops. But she is saying that it seems to be every time that we see these situations, it seems to have a white face on it. Right? Castillo, we go Eric Garner. When we go down the litany of list of peoples, it has a white face on it. Right? And so, from observation of a person looking, this is the reference that say, well, damn, it seems like this is more about this particular group seem to have an issue killing people of color, and it seemed to have the same face every time. So if you did the math equation, you're going to come to the sum total of maybe this is what it is. And so as a artist, rapper, they talk about what's from what they see, hood, and all that good stuff. So, because of the reference, it made you feel uneasy. Because again, it's kind of like saying, when you talk about Ice Cube, right? Look at Ice Cube, man. Ice Cube has, was the voice at one particular time when it came to gangster rap, right? He was that voice. He was that sound. So, when it had been incumbent that they wanted to get that voice out and get him to be doing other things and all this other stuff, because he could have been that pipe piper. You understand what I'm saying? He could have been the pipe piper. I'm not saying he still don't got it, but due to the simple fact of, making you change up the game and get your voice so it's no longer heard. But Cuba had already said, he said in 63, he said, what you think that, he said, they killed JK in 63, what the fuck you think they'll do to me, right? So he let you know right then and there what it is. Again, love Cube. But I'm just saying, make the reference to how what she's saying don't have the same weight as if Cube was saying it. Again, like you're saying, fuck the police became a national anthem, right? Just like Ice-T did with Cop Killer, right? But it's funny how the evolution is now you playing roles that you're about cops. So it contradicts your image, right? And so Cube never really contradicted. He kind of, did movies and so forth, but never contradicted. But again, they took him out of the realm to actually do that. And I guess he felt like, again, as I said, they did JFK in 63. What the fuck you think they do to me? So they're saying if they assassinate JFK, they think they won't do that to me, but again, that was the stance he took. And again, he teach his own, right? Now, do she got, a case? Of course she got a case. Because again, that job is a job that, again, it has the good and the bad. If you're in a bad situation and you can't get, the protocols to get somebody to come out there and help you, you a lame duck sitting out there. Right? And that would not fare well with you. It's not good for your health, right? And so, again, they made it sound as if she's declaring war against white men on the beat. But we didn't hear the lyric. That was what the article said. We didn't hear her say it. Instead of them giving us the entirety of it, they only gave you what they wanted you to hear. And what you did hear, you heard about what's going on, you know what I'm saying, what you may have to do to get, again, she made some references. I'm not saying she didn't, but I don't think she just declared it directly on white men on the beat, right? But her reference is to allude to something, to the fact. But that was prior to her being a cop. Now, again, they said, well, she would apologize, but then they still had those ill will feelings even though she did it. Do you still mean you still want to harbor those same feelings even though you know she apologized, right? And what about a lot of the stuff that's happening with social media and police officers saying all kind of racial things? Matter of fact, in Philadelphia, look at how many cops are there. Their intent is to fire. They didn't fire, they don't suspend it, but they ain't fired anybody. They said the intent. Well, intent. They got to go through the union, the FOP. They got to go through that whole process. It may end up not getting out. You know how a union going to fight. That's where they're making their bread and butter from. So they'll find some loophole again. Freedom of speech is what they're going with, right? Okay, you have the right to say what you want to say. That's fine, right? But again, the same thing like for her. She said what she said, right? But because of her being in a black uniform, it carries a different weight. But if you're white and you say that things against black people, well, you can just suspend your job, right? With the intent to fire you, right? But that was directly talking about the people that you are going in the community against. And it was more than just one. If this is just one person that we've seen that y'all have brought forward that would say that you saying, spewing a rhetoric that you say is against white cops. Okay, let's say what you say is fact. But we could say how many over here have that same mentality. They're not rapping, but they're talking in that manner. They make connotative language as to how they're referenced to how it's jungle and animals, and you understand. But these are the people we supposed to have full, under their authority and care and trust. But this is the way they feeling psychologically. See, so it don't match. It really just two different things. So again, to say that she is declaring war, it goes on and says that they say we got to make America great again. We were never great. We were slaves and caged in, right? That's what she said, 26-year-old. As images relate to police violence flashes across the screen. Now, again, I would like to see the entirety, but I didn't see it. And then she says, they see us like a gorilla in a jungle. So we got to get it. A black ski mask and a black fitted. Got my crew and a couple hitters. My mama need bread, so I'ma go and get it. Okay? Needless to say, they say so they still like, again, I don't feel safe, said one cop. How can I trust she will have my back? Another officer said if a white cop said that about blacks, he would be fired. We still kind of, that's still out for the jury right now, right? Especially in Philadelphia, right? And again, if you go across the nation about that, again, I mean, they be having a police review, was a peer review that did. That's the one that ended up catching them. But again, I'm pretty sure they have other, stations from other states. But again, if you took those numbers versus those blacks that would be that way towards whites, I don't think they match up in no way. But if you think I'm wrong, show me your stats, and then okay, I recant what I just said, right? So we see that, again, this story probably will continue on. I just wanted to bring forth to you, let you know that it is out there, that a sister, Atisha Samuel, who at one time, again, was being a rap artist, said some things that later on they end up coming back, and they want to say that she is proclaiming war against white cops. Is that what you heard? If you go, I should put the article in the where it says, when you go down and hit show more. For those who want to see the entirety of the articles, I will actually put it in there. So again, this is Black Minds News coming with another thought-provoking topic. And you know what it is, y'all. Let me go ahead and let me put some of this out here. and need y'all to do a little bit. Again, I appreciate everybody who's doing what they're doing to help this channel to try to grow a little bit, right? I appreciate that so much, y'all. Y'all just don't know. And, you know, when we see one another again, universal now, what's good, brother, what's good, sister, right? Quit all this hatred and stuff against them, because this is the only team you got. It's okay to fraternize and be with other people. I mean, we're not anti-people. People are anti-against us, but we're not anti-people. But again, because of the atmosphere and the environment that we live in, sometimes, again, we're going to have to unify in a way because, again, you can't tell between who's for you and who's not. Even though they wear uniforms that's supposed to be upheld and held, and they supposed to have did a salute and praise and sworn to uphold it. Sometimes it don't go that way. It depends on the individual that you will be accosted by, what kind of individual it is, the outcome you might get. So we have to always be very apprehensive in these situations. We can't just look at everything as just like that's somebody else's. Because again, until you come in and it approaches you, now it's your situation. So again, peace, love, and all that good stuff. Until the next show, y'all, stay black, stay with love, and all that good stuff.
Portions of the following program may be unsuitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Remember, the enemy has only images and illusions, behind which he hides his true motives. Destroy the image, and you will break the enemy.
I'm here to tell you tonight that the businessmen, the mayor of this city, the police commissioner of this city, and everybody in the white power structure of this city must take a responsibility for everything.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Luther and I and everyone in this arena tonight are unified by the same great American values. We're proud of our country. We respect our flag. Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
Race is when you use your power and influence to subject people into inferiority. Utterances can't be racist.
Look around you, man. They own this shit. They own this couch you sitting on, them shoes you got on your feet, this building, this school, this country, you. We're behind enemy lines, dog.
So you must first of all remember that this system was not originally designed with black people in mind. Right on! And it definitely was not prepared for black people to, in the end, begin to demand their rights and an equal share in this country which they've died for. Right on! Hey, and we definitely are not going back to Africa.
In the church, we used to sing the song, good news, the chariot is coming. While you sit here today, knowing that you have come to hear good news, you must realize in advance what good news for you might be bad news for somebody else. What good news for the sheep might be bad news to the wolf.
They say, oh, things are getting so much better for you. In 1849, it was hitting blacks on the head 100 times a day. In 1990, they hit them 48 times a day. Isn't it better? Oh, it's got to be better. You're saying 52 blows.
The only purpose of most black Americans on earth today is to destroy.
I think that's noble. Italians love Italians. When Irish love Irish. But when a nigga loves a nigga, it's an unpardonable sin. They have blood in their hands. When we say they have blood in their hands, we are not saying him, George Bezos, went and killed. But white people colonized us. They dispersed us. They enslaved our people. They sucked our economy dry. They are still sucking it dry even today. That's white people. Tony Blair, George Bush, Napoleon Bonaparte, Leopold, Adolf Hitler, Benjamin Netanyahu. All white people, they are the same. They are racist and they are full of hate.
I've been waiting for you. You have many questions, and though the process has altered your consciousness, you remain irrevocably human. Ergo, some of my answers you will understand, and some of them you will not. Concordantly, while your first question may be the most pertinent, you may or may not realize it is also the most irrelevant.
Why am I here? Our world is coming crumbling down. The coons are coming.
You got to understand that white America has an uncanny way of making the victim the victimizer. Excuse me, master, for putting my head in the way of your club. Not that your club is brutalizing my head and putting hickeys on it. My head got in the way of your free swing and broke your shiny stick, and I want to apologize for that.
Your life is the sum of a remainder of an unbalanced equation inherent to the programming of the Matrix. You are the eventuality of an anomaly which, despite my sincerest efforts, I have been unable to eliminate from what is otherwise a harmony of mathematical precision. While it remains a burden assiduously avoided, it is not unexpected and thus not beyond a measure of control, which has led you inexorably here.
There are more connections in the human body than there are stars in the galaxy. We possess a gigantic network of information to which we have almost no access.
Matrix is older than you know. I prefer counting from the emergence of one integral anomaly to the emergence of the next, in which case this is the sixth version.
5 months before me. There are only 2 possible explanations. There were 5 months before me. Either no one told me, or no one knows.
Precisely. As you are undoubtedly gathering, the anomaly is systemic, creating fluctuations in even the most simplistic equations.
Control me! I'm gonna smash you to bits! Yeah! You can't make me do anything like Chris! Choice. The problem is choice.
Let us remember that we are not brutalized because we're Baptist. We're not brutalized because we're Methodist. We're not brutalized because we're Muslim. We're not brutalized because we're Catholics. We're brutalized because we are black people in America.
Because white people made him to be what he is. They made him to look evil, because that's their role, to make all of us black people to look evil and to hate ourselves. I can't hate you. You're a nigga till you die. If you're a poor nigga, you're a poor nigga. If you're a rich nigga, you're a rich nigga. But you never stop being a nigga. And if you get to be educated, you're just an educated nigga.
I'm told every day I'm on air that I'm racist because I call out racism. That is maddening to me, and I'm crying about it because it's crazy.
So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is teaching you and I and trying to tell the white man to get this powder keg out of his house. Let the black man separate from his house. Let the black man have his own house. Let the black man have his own land and his own property.
I thought the bitch was white! Damn it! I thought the bitch was white!
That's true.
I think that white people are so guilty, knowing what they've done to black people, that they feel if the deeds were reversed, they would hate the black man if he had done the same thing to them. So it's actually, it reflects a guilt complex on the part of whites when they ask us, do we hate them? And if you notice, Uncle Sam has formed a habit of going all over the world. He calls it the ugly American or the American image. He thinks that everybody hates him because it's a guilt complex. And if you think that if you are worried about Europeans hating you and they're your allies and your cousins, well, naturally it would follow for you to think that Negroes in this country would hate you, especially in light of what has been done to black people in this country by white people.
Now, check it out. The white ball dominates everything, right? Knocks the shit out the yellow ball, the red ball, right? And the game's over when the white ball drives the black ball completely off the table.
But you have to see that all of this is hypocrisy.
I love Malcolm. Malcolm called me the Sunday that he died. I was working Basin Street East. He said, Brother Greg, you coming by today? And I said, Malcolm, I love you. And I said, I love you so much, I don't even want to take a chance to be there. He said, what do you mean, Brother Greg? I said, well, I close tonight, Sunday night at Basin Street East. And I said, but I had my wife book me a flight into Chicago at 8 o'clock this morning. And I'm going to Chicago, and I had way beneath my salary, booked me into a college about 10 miles from the airport. And I'm going to go there and speak this afternoon, and I'm going to stay there until they tell me you dead. Because I'm not going to let this government get two of us for the price of one. And I'm going to call Adam Clayton Powell when I finish talking to you and beg him not to come there. Because today, the United States government is going to get you.